All right, welcome back. Today, we are diving into a book that has absolutely exploded online, and for good reason. It takes the romance genre and pushes it, well, way past its darkest edge. We're talking about H.D. Carlton's Haunting Adeline.
Okay, before we get into anything else, we have to start right where the author starts, and that's with a pretty intense trigger warning. This is no joke. She's incredibly upfront that this book is not a standard romance. It's packed with really graphic, really dark themes. And, that kind of honesty right at the beginning, it totally sets the tone for the entire ride.
So, first things first, let's talk about the setting. Because this isn't just some random backdrop. We're talking about a place that's practically breathing with dread and secrets. Welcome to Parsons Manor.
Yeah, Parsons Manor is basically a character in its own right. Our main character, Adeline, she inherits this place, and let's just say it comes with some serious baggage. We're talking a super gloomy, gothic vibe. It's literally perched 50 feet from a cliff's edge. Oh, and it's the site of an unsolved family murder. So, casual stuff.
But here's the twist. Despite all that darkness, the murder, the cliffs, the whole creepy vibe, Adeline feels this incredibly deep connection to the house. It's the only place that's ever really felt like home to her. And that creates this amazing tension, right? The one place she feels she belongs is also the source of so much danger and pain.
All right, so we have our haunted house. Now, let's bring in our two main characters. We have Adeline, the author, and then we have the mysterious figure watching her from the shadows. And yeah, their worlds are about to collide in a big, big way.
So, on one side, you have Adeline Riley. She's an author, and she's really good at what she does. In fact, she calls herself a master manipulator of her readers' feelings. Then you have Zaid Meadows. He's the stalker, the guy she calls the Shadow. He's a vigilante, and he is driven by this dark, totally calculated obsession. So you've got two manipulators here. One uses words, the other uses fear.
And this is where we get right to the core of what makes this dark romance. Adeline's own thoughts tell us everything. It's not just that she's scared. She's terrified. But there's this little part of her that's also intrigued. She finds a thrill in it. It's that terrifying mix of fear and fascination that really drives the story.
Okay, but let's talk about Zaid for a second, because he is way, way more than just a stalker. The story peels back these layers, and we find out he's living this secret, incredibly violent life that just complicates everything.
So Zaid is basically the definition of an anti-hero. Turns out he's the head of this secret group called Z, and their entire mission? To hunt down and eliminate human traffickers. He's a genius hacker, but he's also a hands-on mercenary. And when I say he gets his hands dirty, I mean really dirty.
And his methods are just brutal. We're not talking about calling the cops. He exposes corrupt officials, sure, but he also personally executes traffickers. His whole mission is to rescue the victims, mainly women and kids, and he does it with zero mercy. That's kind of the whole justification for his character, He's a monster, but he hunts other monsters.
And let's be crystal clear about something. This guy is not some reluctant hero who hates what he has to do. No way. The book flat out tells you he enjoys hurting people. His logic is just that he aims that violence at people he thinks really, truly deserve it. So, you've got the author in her haunted house and the vigilante fighting his secret war. How do these two worlds finally smash into each other? Well, it happens when Zaid decides he's done just watching from the shadows and starts to intervene directly in Adeline's life. And it starts with these symbolic things that are just so unsettling. Like he leaves her a single red rose, but he's clipped off all the thorns. Think about that. Is that romantic? Or is it a threat? Is he saying, I won't hurt you? Or is he saying, I can get past your defenses anytime I want? This next part. This is the point of no return. Adeline decides to test him, to push back, so she brings a guy named Arch home on a date. Bad move. Zaid's response is swift and brutal. First, she gets a text from an unknown number. Don't feel guilty, baby. I don't make idle threats. Then, this insane pounding on the door. Arch goes to see who it is, and just vanishes. Gone. The only thing left on the doorstep? A single rose. But this time, it's covered in blood. The game is over. The threats are real.
And if there was any doubt left in her mind or ours about just how serious this is, it gets erased when a box shows up. Inside, 2 severed hands. Arch's hands. Yeah,
The message is loud and clear. Zaid is not playing, and defying him has absolutely horrific consequences.
So right when Adeline is trying to deal with this modern-day monster in her life, she stumbles onto something else, a whole other layer to this mystery, a historical one connected to the house itself, and it's all about her great-grandmother, Gigi. Get this. Adeline finds a hidden passage in the house, and inside are Gigi's old diaries. As she starts reading, she learns this shocking truth. Her great-grandmother didn't just die young, she was murdered, right there in that same house, and the case was never solved.
But here is where it gets absolutely chilling. Gigi's story is almost a perfect mirror of what's happening to Adeline. The diaries show that Gigi was also being stalked. Her last entry is just full of fear, where she writes, "He came for me." And after she was killed, who were the suspects? Her abusive husband and her mysterious stalker. It's an insane parallel. It's history repeating itself.
And then comes the final, terrifying realization for Adeline. As she keeps reading, it becomes clear that Gigi wasn't just afraid of her stalker. She was also fascinated by him. She was falling in love with him. And Adeline has to face this horrible possibility that she's walking down the exact same doomed path, that she's falling for a man who might, in the end, be the one to kill her.
And this all circles back to the central question of the book, doesn't it? Zaid's whole argument is that everything he does, the stalking, the threats, isolating her, it's all to protect her. But it really makes you wonder, where do you draw that line? When does protection just become dangerous, suffocating possession?
Ultimately, Haunting Adeline leaves you with this really provocative idea to chew on. This story isn't just a story, it's an exploration of the whole dark romance fantasy. It really makes you ask, what is the appeal of loving a monster? And maybe even more unsettling, why would someone find a sense of safety in the arms of the most dangerous person they could possibly imagine?